Hey everybody, today we are going through my comic books from 1958.
Tuesday born of ink and thrill, pages turn, the rush is real. Heroes, villains clash and break, ink on paper, dreams awake. Cheap collector got the stash, dollar bins, the hidden cash. Gold and silver, bronze they gleam, panel portals, endless dreams. Comic Book Tuesday flying high, cheaper thrills you can't deny. Collectors' hearts, oh how they soar. Comic Tuesday, we want more.
Welcome back everybody. Thanks for joining me once again here at Cheap Comic Collector. We are in the process of going through my personal collection to create a new list of what I have because the old list is very out of date and not reliable because I didn't keep up with it with the selling and so forth, and me changing my mind on a lot of different series, whether I wanted to sell them and or keep them, and back and forth, back and forth. Some issues on the list sold and didn't get taken out, and so on and so forth. So, got to do this. It's going to take a while. We are up to 1958. That's the books we're going to be going through today. Also, besides the weekly, daily videos that drop at noon, we do a auction. $3 auction starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live. Feel free to join in. We get super chats and things like that. And every super chat we get triggers a giveaway. So there's usually quite a few giveaways going on. There was one week, I think I gave out 25 books in one show. So, it's worth stopping by just to see if you can snag a giveaway. And we just look at comics basically and have some fun. Sundays we do the same thing, but it's a members only show, so they get first crack at all the comics that I have coming in through the door. I got 2 boxes coming tomorrow. I got 4 boxes on Monday. And so it's a regular thing. And then so if you want first crack at the books, and we never know honestly, you never know what I'm going to find, because I found some amazing stuff. All of this stuff has come from me buying mostly in the last couple of years, as I started my YouTube channel, and never thought, trying to get stuff for $1 or under, that I would ever grab, stuff like this. That's, an old Dell Beetle Bailey. It's just incredible to me, and so you can collect on the cheap. Don't let anybody tell you different. There's that's one of the nice things about collecting comics, is it doesn't matter what your budget is, you can still do it, unless you're starving to death. Then you shouldn't be buying comic books if you don't have enough money for food, electricity, and things and necessities. But it's easy to collect on the cheap, but it is addictive. Anyway, let's switch over to the other camera. Get over to the comics. That's what you're all here for. I'll be back in a minute. All right, so this is kind of a slow-paced show where we're just chilling. I'm putting the list together as we go, so we'll take a few minutes every now and then to look up a series and put it into the list, such as this one, Beetle Bailey Dell. I do already have Grand Comics Database pulled up to this page, so Beetle Bailey had a few issues in the 4-color series, and then it started with issue number 5. in 1956 and went to the end of Dell's run in 1962. And the last issue by Dell was number 38. After that, it was picked up by Gold Key, and the numbering continued. And they published from 1962 to 1966. Issues number 39 to number 53. And then it got published by King Features itself. They had a comic line for a little while. They published it from 1966 to 1968 and continued the same numbering. So they did issues 54 to 66. And then it went to Charlton. Beetle Bailey's been around. So Charlton had it from 1968. 1969 actually to 1976. So they actually published more issues than anybody. And they went issues number 67 to number 119. And then it went back to Western Publishing. Gold Key took it back over. And they published it from 1978 to 1980. Which issues 120 to 132. And then there were other Beetle Bailey series. I know Harvey did one at one point. But that was a complete run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 different publishers. Twice with the same one. That's quite a run. For them not to have changed the numbering or anything. That's cool. So, and that's a really nice copy too, looks like. Next up, we have a comic album. I'm always a little bit confused on whether the title of this is Dell Comic Album or Comic Album. It is simply Comic Album. And I'll have to look this one up as well, but it won't take quite as long because it's pretty sure it didn't go anywhere other than being published at Dell. And it went from 1958 to 1962. Started with issue number 1, went for 18 issues. And this is number 2. Nice. And I'm just going to click on the cover gallery real quick here and see. Yeah, so this was kind of like four color where they had different characters, right? They had Donald Duck, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Woody Woodpecker, Three Stooges, Popeye, Flintstones. Um, and the thing that tied it all together was with the comic albums. They basically were going through photo albums, and then the stories, a picture in the album would inspire the stories. So that was the overall theme that they used. There were some four colors that used that theme as well, like Duck Album. We saw one of those earlier in an earlier show. And this one's got a bit of a spine roll on it, so I'm going to put that one to the side so I can press it now that I have a press. And next up we have a Donald Duck. This is number 57. And here is number 60. Another Donald Duck Beach Party. That makes number 5. I think I have the whole series of these, but I can't swear to it. So at this point I have 1 through 5. And oh, here's a really cool looking Felix the Cat. Number 95. And then we get into the four colors. Goofy, who sadly never graduated to his own series until they came out with Super Goof, but that's not quite the same thing. It's funny to note that like characters like Chip and Dale, would graduate to their own series, but Goofy never did. Although he did have quite a few one-shots in the four colors. So, and it's yet another hot dog cover. They loved hot dog covers back then. And here's William, one of the rare originals, I think. I don't think this is a comic strip. This is number 902. And here is Luke Short's Top Gun, which is four color 927. And a Smokey the Bear, his life story, issue number 932. Great cover on that. I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to do a spine roll on that one. It is rolled, but it's got quite a few rips in there. I don't know if I. It's got such a nice looking cover. I don't think I want to risk damaging it. Gene Autry and Champion. Don't know if I have any Gene Autrys yet. Oh yeah, I do. This is 119. So the official title was still Gene Autry Comics at that point. And here is Jace Pearson's Tales of the Texas Rangers, which we had a four color of earlier. This is part of our regular series. So gonna have to look that one up as well. And I'm gonna fix my camera. It's for some reason the comics are coming out crooked. I must have bumped the camera the other day or something. That's pretty good. All right. Originally was called Jace Pearson of the Texas Rangers. Then it became Jace Pearson's Tales of the Texas Rangers. This title was published 1956 and 1958. And went from issue 11 to number 20. And this is 20, so this is the last issue unless they had some more four colors afterwards. Sometimes they would do that. They would jump back to four colors. And here's a Jungle Gem. Too bad it's got this chunk missing out of it. Nice cover. Yet another Dell. The vast majority of my earlier comics are obviously Dells. And that is perfectly fine with me. Alright, looks like Pines had Jungle Gym first, but Dell started with the new numbering. They had a couple four-color issues and then started with number 3 and went to issue number 19, published from 1954 to 1959. And this is number 17. Alright, Looney Tunes 198. And 202. Marge's Little Lulu 105. MGM's Mouse Musketeers, who, of course, were Tom and Jerry. And I believe I have several issues of this, but this is the earliest one I have. So that's not in the list yet. We'll have to look it up. Went from 1957 to 1960. And they too had quite a few four colors. They had 7 four colors. And then switched to their own numbering, number 8 to 21. And then after that, they had 3 more four colors. Like I said, sometimes they jump back into the 4-color numbering. So that's number 13. We've got a Mickey Mouse, number 61, and a Dell Giant Mickey Mouse Summer Fun. This one's got a spine roll I would love to fix, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if you can do it on a square bound like that. I think I'm better off just leaving as is. And I may be wrong, but I think this is this is number one, and I think after that it just became like Walt Disney's Summer Fun. I don't think there was only one issue with the Mickey Mouse title. And this one also has a 30-cent variant, which I am not lucky enough to have. Okay, there is only one issue, but it doesn't say that it's continued into the Summer Fun series, but I'm pretty sure that they continued the numbering. So I can mark that series as complete since there was only one issue. Always fun to be able to do that. And then we jump to Scamp, number 7. Uh-oh. My Scamp information is incomplete. I just have the title Scamp down there with no number, and I know we had an earlier one. So I have already screwed up this list. But it will straighten itself out eventually. So Scamp had some 4 colors, and then under Dell was published 1958, 1961. Numbers 5 to 16. And I think when Gold Key got it, I think they rebooted with a number 1. I might be wrong. And that's number 7. So. And another Dell Giant Silly Symphonies, number 8. Thumper. Playing with the Seven Dwarfs Band. And then you got one of my favorite shows growing up, Spin and Marty, which were a serial on the Mickey Mouse Club. And I know they had some 4 colors, so we'll see how many issues they had in their regular series. 1958, 1959. They had 4 colors before and after the series. So they had issues number 5 through 9. This is number 6. And then they had four color issues. And then they had 2 4-color issues after number 9. So 11 issues altogether. That's a really old bag. I think I'd like to get that in a better bag. This one actually has quite a spine roll as well that you can see on the back. It's not that noticeable on the front, but got a loose centerfold too. It's quite folded on the back. With that, how much would that help that? Yeah, it's not that bad. Still looks good from the front. I'm a little scared of working on the older ones. Especially something like this that means quite a bit to me. So. Alright, then we have Tarzan's Jungle Annual. Another Dell Giant. And this one, they actually called it an annual, so that's interesting. And this one, the series started in 1952, went to 1958. And had 7 issues. So this is the last issue of that. And they don't even have Tarzan on the cover. See on the back cover? Nope, just a Juicy Fruit ad on the back. This is cool. All right, gonna move these over here in case we're getting out of camera range a little bit. And we got some Tom and Jerry's, number 167. 168. 2 in a row. And an Uncle Scrooge, number 22. Nice. And that'll be my earliest Uncle Scrooge. And of course, Uncle Scrooge started with Dell. Is invented at Dell by the one and only Karl Barks. He had 3 4-color issues before they started his own title with number 4. That was published in 1953 and went to 1962. And the last issue by Dell was number 39. So they actually didn't have a whole lot of issues that were at Dell. And of course, that continued into the Gold Key Whitman series. And that was 1963 to 1984. So they went issues number 40 to 209. And then they were picked up by Gladstone in 1986. Seemed like there was a much longer gap between that to me, but Gold Key was publishing Whitman was publishing so sporadically and only in toy bags at the end of their run, so it just seemed like it was longer, I guess. 1986, I never picked up Uncle Scrooge regularly until Gladstone was publishing, so because it wasn't on newsstands at the time. So Gladstone published 1986 to 1990, which with 210 to 242. And then Disney Publishing took it over when they finally, after so many years, decided to publish their own line. Absolutely ruined the line. Didn't know what they were doing. They published from 1990 to 1993. Although they did publish some good stuff, but too little, too late. And they published 243 to 280. And then after that, that's right, it went back to Gladstone Gemstone again. So Gladstone published 1993 to 1999. Numbers 281 to 318. And then that's when Gemstone took over. And I don't know if they just changed the name of their company or if that's or exactly what happened there. I'm not sure why it went from Gladstone to Gemstone. It's the same company, just a different name. They published 2003 to 2008, so there was a gap there that I'm not familiar with. 319 to 383, they had their issues for. That's quite a run for those square-bound issues. Then they still continued the numbering over at Boom. with 2009 to 2011. And they did numbers 384 to 404. And then it went to IDW. And IDW had, they started over with number 1, but they also used legacy numbering. And they published 2015 to 2020, I'm sorry. So they did 405 to 460. And that was, or number 1 to 56, depending how you want to look at it. Not sure. Not sure how to list that in my list. You kind of need to know that because sometimes when you're buying, they'll use one or the other numbers. They would probably use 1 through 56 for somebody who didn't know what they're talking about too much. Anyway, go back to the Dell and make sure I put the 22 in because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different publishers. Holy cow. And here is, this one's in a Ziploc bag. I must not have had any bags that would fit when they came in. Vacation in Disneyland. And like I said in yesterday's show, this was another one of those where they don't really take place in Disneyland too much. A little bit sometimes. I mean, they'll go to Fantasyland and they'll be in the Enchanted Forest, or they'll go to, Main Street and be in an actual old town. It's not in the theme park so much as it is in the setting of the lands. But still lots of fun. And I believe this is a one-shot. And what a great way to promote the parks to the kids all over the country that were buying Dell Comics. Yep, one issue, 1958. Oh, gotta put a sticker on that one. And then, must be getting towards the end. We're getting in the W's. Walt Disney Comics and Stories. Well, that must be some spring. Gonna launch him in the air into the ceiling. Number 209. Number 210. Number 211. Actually have 3 in a row. And 212. So 4 in a row. That means at least one of these ought to be able to be doubled up. So March, April, 210, 211. This is a nicer bag, so I'm going to keep this one. And 216. And 217. Let's see. So those should be able to be doubled up as well. If my calculations are correct. And they are. That does not want to fit in that bag. I must have snuck in a Silver Age bag. This one will work. This one will work better. Let's see, best to just put a new sticker on there, I think. And that was a Halloween cover. Cool. And last but not least, number 219. Got a fun winter cover there. Donald freezing to death. Kids are having fun with the cold air. Not sure how many parents would put up with that, but certainly not Donald Duck. Walter Lantz New Funnies, number 252. 257 seem to be having a slight problem with their boat. And The World Around Us, the illustrated story of dogs. World Around Us was done by the same company that did Classics Illustrated. They were giant size issues, square bound, 25 cents, kind of like the Dell Giants. So publisher was Gilberton, I believe. I think that was the name. Got to look it up anyway. So and each issue is basically stories about a subject. Like this one's all dogs. And Gilberton is correct. 1958 and 1961, this one was published. And they don't have multiple printings, I don't believe, like the Classics Illustrated did. At least I've never seen that demonstrated. So, and they had 36 issues. And this is number 1, which is cool. And I mean, they just picked a subject and went with it. Could have been anything. Like this one was dogs. Next one is Indians, followed by horses, railroad, space, FBI, pirates, airplanes, Coast Guard, story of the Crusades, stories of the jungle. Just, could have been anything basically. And that's the last one in the box. However, I do have these issues to filter in from the first 2 times we did this. I'm not exactly sure where we're at number-wise. In episodes. I think this is episode 11 of me doing this, but I'm not positive. Oh, and now I got it all messed up. I did it wrong. There we go. All right, so we're just going to go back through them so I can filter these in there, give you one last look. Got World Around Us, Walter Lantz, New Funnies, Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. This is 219, 217, 16, and I also have 214. And then got Vacation in Disneyland, Uncle Scrooge, Tom and Jerry, Tarzan, Spin and Marty, Silly Symphonies, and have a Secret Hearts book from DC to slip in there. Actually, doesn't quite go there. We got a Spike and Tyke that's out of order here. Put that in there. Oh, unless I have that listed as MGMs. I bet you I do. That's why it's in there. So that goes to... That'll go in there. And you can see how confusing some of those titles get with that kind of, the Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse. You put it under Walt Disney, you put it under Mickey Mouse, MGM's Mouse Musketeers. Do you leave it as MGM's or you put it under Mouse Musketeers? Spike and Tyke go in there. Got MGM's. Marge's Little Lulu again. Is it Marge's Little Lulu or is it just Little Lulu? Looney Tunes. And a lot of Dells. Smokey the Bear. Still, I think that's my favorite cover from this batch. And then I have a 4-color that goes here. Zorro. ZZZ. And then we need to get through the 4 colors and get to Donald Duck. There's Felix the Cat, Donald Duck Beach Party, Donald Duck number 62. This is one I printed out a cover for. That's why it's muddy looking. I should have just used the one from Grand Comics Database. Got a better looking cover, but too late. And then we have a Chip and Dale. And then I have this comic album that I'm going to put in a press once the current issue that's in there is done. Let me see. That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, please subscribe, please consider joining the membership, and I'll see you soon.
Step right up, don't be shy. Join the fun, get in and try. Click that button, it's not slide. We can take this song so high. Oh, let's all click the like button. Don't just sit there doing nothing. Subscribe and be a little loving. Make our hearts keep on thumping. You upbeat, it's so neat. Hit that like, feel the beat. Join the rhythm, move your feet. Subscribe and make it sweet. Oh, let's all click the like button. Don't just sit there doing nothing. Subscribe and be a little loving. Make our hearts keep on thumping. We'll be grooving night and day. With your clicks we never sway. Share the joy, sway and play. Subscribe to ride on this way. Oh, let's all click the like button.